us from the newsreel, we always endeavor to keep it real. This is in the service of God and country. Here we don't criticize. But if we must criticize, we'd only just criticize to build and not to destroy. Remember to share this broadcast. We are live streaming on Facebook. My God. Now the very first one I want to look at is this. And it's coming from Ghana Web. It says, Kwaukese cool tweet that has triggered reactions. I read, Ghanaian musician Kwaukese has in a tweet commented on the ongoing political turmoil in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, expressing his hopes that Ghanaian politicians are taking note of the regional instability. The West African region has been grappling with numerous challenges in recent times, with political instability and armed conflicts affecting several countries, including Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. On May 24, 2021, Mali's President Ba Ndaw, Prime Minister Mokhtar Ouane, and Minister of Defense Suleiman Doukouz were captured by the Malian army, led by Vice President Assimi Goïta as the head of the junta. They subsequently announced that Ndaw and Ouane were stripped of their powers pending new general elections to be held in 2022. My brother, my sister, I leave it here. Now, coup d'etats all over the place. Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and even more. ECOWAS is shouting angrily, we are anti-coup, and we're going to make sure that the legal governments that have been ousted will be brought back. My brother, my sister, it is unfortunate that all ECOWAS can do is to go around shouting and trying to bring back legitimate governments that have been ousted in coup d'etats, but not busily looking at how coup d'etats can be prevented in Africa and beyond. My brother, my sister, when you look at what happened in Burkina Faso, Niger, and also in Mali, you realize that there are issues. You realize that leaders decided to take the law into their own hands and behave like demigods. It is not to endorse any coup d'etat. But my brother, a word to the wise is enough. Now, if you go to Mali, look at what happened there. Go to Burkina Faso. And the newest one is Niger. What happened? 2 5-year terms. Not enough. The leader wanted to twist the constitution and get another 5-year term and even more. I don't know what is wrong with African leaders. We are so power drunk, and once we taste power, we want to continue and never give it out to any other person, because we believe that no other person is more qualified than us to lead the nation. Thankfully, in this country, we have gone far beyond that. But have we gone beyond other things that are making other people have coups all over West Africa and beyond? No. We still have a dirty leader, dirty-minded politicians, corrupt politicians, who lately, my brother, my sister, have made Mahama a saint. Look at what happened with Cecilia Dapa. Millions of hard foreign currency stashed out in a room. And when the money was stolen for close to over a year, they never noticed that anything was stolen. And we had backing communication dogs of the ruling party coming to assign so many ridiculous reasons why the money is legitimate. My brother, you are joking and fooling the people. These are the things that can cause a turmoil in any country in the world when you take the people for fool. The people are wise enough for you to talk to them to vote for you. But once you are in power, they are foolish enough to swallow everything that you throw at them without questioning. It's an insult to the populace. I wish Nana Akufo-Addo ceased to be president today. If I had a bottom in front of me, I would press it several times to get Nana Akufo-Addo and his dirty, corrupt people in power out of power. I have said this time and again. Very arrogant, very terrible president, backed by terribly corrupt, in fact, ridiculously corrupt politicians in power. My brother, a presidential staffer, we were told, also had hard currency on her and was robbed. My brother, my sister, Caucus has said nothing wrong. If we all are looking at what is happening around West Africa, then we should be very sharp and wise enough to understand the Akan proverb that when you see your neighbor's house on fire, you must remember that nobody is a repository of calamity. And for that matter, you make water ready for your own house when the burning moves to yours. Think about that. And to the government in power, are you really patriotic? Do you think about Ghana? Do you think about the next generation? Or you are only there to loot? The other day I heard another minister had so much money in his house. People went in there and stole so much hard cash in this ruling government. And they ended up setting the house on fire. They had to find a way of dealing with the situation. The same minister we were told, in his home in Bole, or wherever, my brother, my sister, we were told he had so much money in a certain tank, water tank. And boys were able to find out and stole this money. My brother, my sister, when the people start hearing things like this, what do you expect them to do? When Rawlings came, he shot some people via the firing squad. A lot of people were jailed. At the end of the day, my brother, my sister, corruption did not end in this country. Force is not enough to stop corruption. What can stop corruption is Pan-Africanism, patriotism, civility, education. My brother, you can hold a stick to a child's head and say, if he doesn't do A, B, C, or D, you will beat them. But have you explained to them why they shouldn't be doing that? Have they understood that? Is that not better than using force, brutish force? To God be the glory. Another thing I want to look at, my brother, my sister. Oh, it's sad. It's very sad. I'm still reading from Ghana Web, and it says, nobody can stop the funeral. Reverend Anthony Boachi's daughter challenges widow amid court order. I read, Ya Boachi, daughter of the late founder and general overseer of the Resurrection Power New Generation Church, Reverend Anthony Kwejo Boachi, has declared that her father's funeral will come off as scheduled. Her views posted on social media come at a time the widow of the late clergyman has secured an injunction against the funeral slated for this month. In a video cited by Ghana Web and shared by Gossip 24, Ya, wearing a white dress with the portrait of her late father, cautions that whoever is seeking to block the funeral is looking for the wrath of God. Those of you seeking to sow seeds of confusion should pack yourselves. This is a message from God. You guys should pack yourself. Those of you creating issues on social media, you are fighting with God. Now, the dead man in question, Reverend Anthony Kojobwache, did so well for himself when he was alive. His church is just around the Kaswa area there. Just after Wager, when you go forward, he had buses that brought people to church and took them back. His church was always full, and he preached the message of God. He was very controversial. He had very little formal education, but he knew his Bible, and people believed him that he was God sent. In fact, he was taken ill. He had a stroke. He came back to the church after so many days of being in the sick bay and told them that he actually died, literally, and resurrected because God told him he was not ready to go. He was the same man who asked his church to buy him a white car as ordered by God so that he would ride to the church in the white car. He didn't live long enough to have the white car. He died, and this time round, he couldn't resurrect again, as he said. Before he died, he cursed his own wife. He said the sickness that was tormenting him, he was transferring it to his own wife, and that his wife was a demon who was responsible for his sickness and was in a hurry to see him die so that she would inherit the church and destroy him for good. Will die at a time that you didn't expect. It's possible. Until we start thinking properly and knowing that it's only God who does not die, we will continue to swallow this opium of the people, religion. Duncan Williams had a son who was a bad drug addict. His prayer couldn't stop the drug addiction. He asked the people to pray whilst he looked for some of the topmost well-equipped rehab centers in the world to take his son to. You in his church, if you have such a drug addiction, you will die right here in Ghana. Nobody is going to pay for you to go to America or England. In the same vein, my brother, my sister, a lot of us see men of God as gods. And some of them also play God. Like this man here, who said he had died and resurrected, and that it was not time for him to die, therefore he would not die. Only for him to die a few days later. And people are now fighting over the dead body. Maybe the church members are still waiting for him to resurrect. Religion is one of the biggest problems in Africa, especially Ghana and Nigeria. We have seen how religious leaders have led the multitudes into fasting themselves to death. We have seen how in the name of religion, many people have eaten human excreta. How people jumped from lofty heights to their deaths. My brother, my sister, may God have mercy on us. Please, everybody will die. I, Blakk Rasta, I will die. Maybe at a time that you do not expect. But I'll go. I will not resurrect. I'm not Jesus Christ. I'll die. We have to treat people well. We have to be loyal and patriotic to each other and to God. This is the only thing that will save us and make us proper thinking human beings. To God be the glory. I'll leave it here. I wish I could talk more. And I've heard your comments. You want this segment to be elongated so that we can do more talking in the Black Pot. We are working on that. But in the interim, make do with what it is. Eric Mawena Egbeta will take over the news.